Alright. Hello, everybody. Who do we have in chat today? Let me quickly see. Who do we have in chat today? Hello there, Rusty. Hello, Sky Biscuit. Hello, SimKid. And hello, Weirdcore. How is everybody doing today? Pretty good. Okay, that's good to hear. But, glad to see everybody here today. Hopefully we'll get a few more... The fuck am I seeing in another server that I'm... whatever. Anyways. But yeah, Mom has returned once again. And, funnily enough, I'm pretty sure some of the, OGs of this channel, or at least semi-OGs of this Hello there, the Hat Man. You're a new one, welcome aboard. But, yeah, my mom has returned, and I think some of the semi-OGs of this channel might actually recognize the story, that she'll be detailing to us today. But, let me just quickly switch scenes here. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Everything is perfectly fine, we just need to get chat up and running here. Alright, please work. Holy shit, it actually fucking worked. I'm glad that happened. Fantastic. Glad everything is working as intended. But, let me just quickly, get the, fucking Ultra Kill with Metal Gear Rising music is a banger for some fucking reason. That's... I mean, hey. It works. Sometimes some of the dumbest videos will end up getting, like, the most views, and not even I can understand why. Like, again, I want to remind you guys that my most viewed video is this. This shit is my most viewed video. That is my most viewed video. This fuck-ass video that I swear to God I probably put together in half an hour. Oh yeah. But, today, we have this video. Jesus fucking Christ, can you actually cooperate for once, YouTube? That would be fantastic if you could actually do your fucking job. Anyways. Mom has returned. She has, some more stories, and like I mentioned before, I think the semi-OGs of this channel might actually recognize the, stories that she's going to be, detailing here. To give a small spoiler, it's 2 stories of very dumb fucking injuries I've sustained. What the fuck is going on? Okay, there we go. But, without any... moment of goblin. Dear God, no. I mean, to be fair, they ended up making their, channels, after me, and, my dad already had, like, his entire thing already picked out, so... I'm just kind of like the odd one out, if you will, which I think is funny. But, let us get started here. Let's get started.
Alright, so on this episode of Miss Goblin Out's Sanity, we're going to cook a breakfast with bacon, hash browns, and I'm going to have a go at making some eggs. I don't make them very often, eggs Benedict. So,
alright, I guess we're going to be learning how to do this. Who knows, maybe this will become the next, Cooking with Sanity video.
So, it's a poached egg.
Low tier sanity is a deadly combination. That is unironically like a meme on this channel. Hang on. I know I have it in like... Anyways, I do have, I know it's in Well, it's in... Which AI tail video is it? Maybe it's in this one. I think it's in this one. Finish my pop. Yeah, it's
Or
in
not
this one.
Jesus, although you're not Jesus, so I'm disappointed. What the fuck? Hey, fuck you! So not celebrate your birth. Kill yourself! Low tier sanity is a thing that already fucking exists. That already exists. His iconic phrase, drown!
Anyways.
Egg with cheese sauce, and I'm gonna make the cheese sauce with a bacon Gouda cheese that we had purchased.
I'm sorry, a bacon what now cheese? Sure, I guess. I don't think I've ever heard of that. I don't think we even have any of that where I'm at. I'll have to try and find some sort of replacement if I decide to try and replicate this shit.
Just up in Wisconsin, and we'll start doing that here in a second. Okay, so I've got the hash browns finishing up here. I sprinkled them with a little salt and pepper. These are, I'm cheating, so these are just ready-made hash browns.
I mean, who the fuck cares if they're ready-made hash browns? I mean, come on. Who the hell has time to create hash browns, man? Who the hell has time to do that? Just buy the frozen ones. I don't care. You don't have to be that fancy. Just
I mean, I bought a pair of
Motherfucker!
today coming into the mail. I'd say that's not pretty fancy, buying a pair of Heelys.
Fantastic. Anyways.
That you can find.
Also,
funny
only
is that I
6
got them
more
actually
streams
for
until the
$20.
Also, only 6 more streams until the 100th unorganized stream. Oh yeah, that's a thing that's gonna happen.
Find in your local grocers, Walmart, whatever, in the freezer aisle. So if you don't feel like trying to make your own, which can be a little bit labor intensive, trying to shred the potatoes and all of that good stuff.
That's cheese, not potatoes, but close enough.
That's some heavy metal right there. I love it. That's some heavy metal.
Fucking, I'm sorry, but I have to ask my dad, what the fuck is this GIF? What?
That's the worst Photoshop job I've ever seen. It's amazing.
What the fuck is this shit? It's so goofy, I love it.
I always appreciate whenever... Do you know the one thing that I will always appreciate on the internet, right? The people going full ass on anything that is like this. Like, full, absolute commitment to the bit. Of like, this looks like garbage, right, guys? And that's like the whole point of the content. It's like, yes, please, give me that.
Yeah.
Like, if you've seen some of my shorts where I remix the some of the stick flip note guy, his content.
Yeah.
What I literally do is I have my artboard and I draw shittily in like in my art program, and then I just kind of move it with the pen so you can see like the movement tools and stuff as I moved things around with the pen to make the things talk.
That's
I think that's just the greatest.
Then this is a good way to make it a lot easier on yourself. So while those are kind of still getting nice and browned on one side, I'm going to start making the cheese sauce that I'm going to put into or over our...
Does she have her hair tied back with her glasses thing?
No, I think there's like a hair clip. I'm not sure.
But they're attached. I can see it's attached to her glasses, though.
Are you sure?
Like, it looks like that. She's very far away right now, but you can kind of see it if she comes closer to the camera. Like,
No,
see, right there.
It's
Oh,
not
damn it. Okay. I guess I just see the line from perfectly from her glasses to her hair, and I guess. Okay, I stand corrected. I saw that line. I'm like, does that have a? But I'm wrong.
It's just a case of
Also,
very hilarious positioning.
And also, very nice, neat cutlery in the knife block right there. I love seeing that. It's
Yeah.
also nicely colored too.
I'm not sure exactly, like, how her like stationing exactly works, because she's like a traveling ultrasound tech. That's why she's in like this completely different kitchen and why she comes over like every couple months or so. But I'm not exactly sure how it works, but yeah, I can definitely appreciate this kitchen. It's real nice.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I went and looked for a nice easy recipe, and so I'm gonna have the recipe, and so it's 1 tablespoon of butter, a 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of flour.
All
And you're
right.
supposed to let the butter melt and the flour and everything to mix in with that till it's kind of like this dry or moist paste.
I mean,
My
I would assume that's
problem
how it
with
works.
that is, my problem with that is burning the flour or the butter. 'Cause if you do it
I
too
would
high,
yeah, I would
it'll
assume.
burn.
Yeah. I assume that she knows what she's doing.
Hmm
I
Also,
feel like if
there's an article by the gamer I want you to just take a look at.
you're gonna have to send that shit to me. Did you already do that?
No, but
Ah.
it is a laugh riot.
Oh boy.
Once that's all set, then we'll add the milk and the cheese. So nice, easy recipe, nothing too labor intensive. So that's how you can make a nice, easy cheese sauce. There we go. Now we'll
Okay.
add the milk. So basically the flour and salt and everything, that's going to be a thickener to make the cheese sauce not as runny.
All
So
right.
that's what you're trying to do, is get like a nice thickened base. So you don't just have like liquid cheese.
But what if I want liquid cheese though?
Well, I guess you can cry about it.
But like, get those cool cheese cans, right? You just put that directly into your mouth and just go. You've never done
Oh
that?
my god, what the fuck is this article title? Okay, yeah, we're definitely taking a look at this after this video.
Yay!
Jesus
I saw
Christ.
the article title, like, yay!
Oh my god, that title. Oh
I
no.
want to make. I was gonna ask you, like, I was going to make a video on this for Tuesday, but I'm like, why don't I do this live with you now, record it, and then put that as my next video? Because I've been so done with work that I need an easy video this week, please.
Oh boy, alright. I don't know.
Yeah, we can take turns reading it. I have the article up in front of me too.
For the 100th
And I
Unorganized
already-
stream, we should play a game together. Some
Yes.
friends of mine have been, like, shooting a few different ideas across.
Abiotic factor. Let's play some Half-Life survival game yesterday.
Ah!
It's good. Buy it and fucking play it. You love Half-Life. You will love this game. I assure you.
It's kind of a nice thicker sauce. So we'll wait for this to thicken up and then I'll add the cheese. Alright, so
No, what the fuck happened to the audio?
Excellent question.
Why does it suddenly sound like we're partially underwater?
I added a little bit of the cheese to the sauce already.
What happened?
It's starting to thicken. As you can see, it's not as liquidy as it was before.
Does this actually work?
Just try to not have your burner set too high. You really want it on a low setting
Yeah, there it is.
to allow the sauce to thicken at a nice, slow, even rate. Because if you do it too fast, you're going to burn it, or it could even get like lumpy and whatnot. Right now, the lumps you see are the little bacon bits from the cheese that I'm using, and some of the cheese itself. So now I'm going to add the rest of the cheese.
Alright, here we go.
That all nice and melted. While I'm doing that.
Damn it. Alright.
go
Doesn't
here.
record, right? Bye.
Critters over. And I'll just put this on minimum so they stay nice and warm. So obviously I'm going to try and do this until all the cheese melts.
Makes sense.
And while we're waiting for that, you know, it's
yay.
almost like paint
Cool.
drying.
Kind of funny considering that I still remember a good while ago, I ended up literally playing a Half-Life 2 mod, literally titled Watching Paint Dry. Because I know that Mom is going to watch this, and I guarantee you she's probably going to get a kick out of this story, but literally there's like a mod for a game that I played on stream a while ago, and I think I even made a video about it, of like the highlights of it.
You did.
Yeah, I did. Hang on,
It was
let me see
really
if
funny.
Yeah, it was an extremely funny game, despite the title. It was despite the title, despite what the title of that game might have been. It was one of the funniest things I think I've ever played, and yeah, there it is. So I streamed watching paint dry the game.
Yeah, it's funny because it has the same. The reason why I think it's funny is because it has the same humor as like the Stanley Parable, where it's very self-aware as to what it is and like the fact that it's a game, and that sort of comedy is always going to be timeless because if you ever heard of like breaking the fourth wall, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, of course, right? I know it. I fucking played Undertale. Of course I know what breaking the fourth. I made a game about not a game. I made a video about a game that the entire gimmick is that it breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah. It's like you are the game. And if you ever want to experience those types of games again, I have like several recommendations. There is one that's called The Beginner's Guide, which that one's fantastic. There's another one that I believe is it's like the Bug Hammer. It's like a debug hammer game. I forget specifically. I think Funk talked about it. And then there's a couple other games that are like very self-aware. There's one that's like, what the fuck was it? It was Battle for Trembador or something like that. It's another
but there's a lot of people didn't say One Shot. That was the game I was literally referencing.
That's the one, yeah.
That's literally what I was implying there.
Like, you are God. Like, what?
Yes, you are one of the characters. You are God in this universe.
You are God, yeah. But yeah, the Stanley Parable is a great piece of beautiful work of art.
Also, I'm now looking at this video. Jesus Christ. This guy's video aged like fucking milk because holy fuck, Shadow of the Erd Tree is great.
Aged horribly. Yeah.
I mean, as expected. As expected.
Yeah. Yeah, also what's really funny is, so I looked at some of his other stuff, and I talked to another person, and he's like, oh, this is just rage bait. I'm like, that's true, but is that not? I don't know if that's true or not.
I mean, even still, it was just a funny video to take a look at. Even if it was, like, rage bait and whatnot, it was still a very silly and stupid video, so why not make fun of it?
Oh, yeah. Did you see the other... Did I send you the other video?
I don't know if you did. You'll have to...
It was the one where he was talking about you're the reason why video games are the way they are. Where the fuck did I put it? Maybe I deleted it.
Maybe.
It has been a little bit. Oh yeah, the video game should be easy.
CrowdStrike uptake has global. What the? Okay, cool.
Have you taken a look at the video games should be easy?
Video games should be easy. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
if
I don't think that I sent that to you, but I have a video on this thing where this dude who is not a gamer. I can send it to you in a second here. It doesn't infuriate me. It just like it's so annoying. Hold on.
I mean, try sending me the video and I'll take a look at like if it's something that I may have, because I have a feeling I might know what you're talking about, but if it's not what I
Steve something is the dude.
Steve Shives?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I've talked about him.
Yeah, I fucking.
Yeah, I think I took a look at the very
so
video that
angry
you're
at
talking
that.
about, where he like compares
Yeah.
like difficult video games. Like
He doesn't understand difficult video games. And to me, like, I break that down in the sense of, oh, you don't want to challenge yourself. It's like the most boomer, but also the most millennial, like,
Yeah,
mindset that you
I
can
think I
have. Like, oh,
remember
video
like
games should
watching
be
that
challenging,
video,
it
and
should
I
be
like,
easy.
he brings up the fact that he like loads up like what is it, like Doom 2 full of
He
like
wrote he
cheats and
loads up
whatnot,
Doom, yeah,
and I
Doom 2,
literally respond,
he,
and I literally
he
respond to it by going
mutes
like, well, maybe
the
that's why you get
audio.
bored of it after an hour.
Yeah, again, he's like, oh well, it should be like entertaining to me. He's like, yes, and some people like the challenge of entertaining. Like, here's what happened to me. So the other day, I was playing Once Human because it's another free-to-play game that's basically got me by the balls right now. It's a good game, just a lot has happened in it. But Once Human, I decided to try and do a stupid and have like, and there's this one thing that you do where you can get like this, one of the in-game currencies called Starcrom, where you have to process a specific material, but you have to do it like in a wave-based thing. And what ended up happening was practically like half my base got destroyed, and all of my progress, like all of my materials and stuff that was in my base that got destroyed, they're just gone now. And I didn't realize that until I was like rebuilding the whole base, and I'm like, I was so fucking infuriated the entire time rebuilding my base. But I'm like, I gotta do this because it was stupid. But I ended up rebuilding the whole thing. And I'm like, you know what? I think I did a better job now rebuilding it, because now I understand why you shouldn't do that and put like the reactor that does the wave-based thing in your main base, because it will get that destroyed and you don't want your shit destroyed. So I ended up learning from that very challenging experience, because I had to go back out into the world, reclaim all of the shit to rebuild the entire base again and back up to where it was in terms of power-wise, and I'm still kind of building my way back up to there. So it's like, dude, I get what you're saying, where video games should be easy in some regards, but not every video game needs a difficulty meter. Like, I was having so much fun rebuilding that base, and I was improving on certain factors of it. I'm like, ooh, I'll put this here, and I'll move this to here, and I'll do this. It's like,
yeah, it's kind of
It's
why
annoying.
I also don't mind the fact that like No Man's Sky, like its expeditions, like you kind of do them on like a fresh save, because not only does it kind of work from like a narrative perspective, but it also kind of allows you to just kind of have like a more fresh experience.
Yeah. And again, the way that I broke it down in my video is I broke it down from a very like professional standpoint, as in psychology and professionalism, of how the three main factors in every.
Wait a minute. Skybiscuit just said, apparently Easy Gaming deleted his original channel and made a new one for what?
Nice. Let's go.
Why?
Completely get rid of your audience and then restart, because that's the best marketing tactic you can probably have.
Why the fuck?
Send me that channel, please. If you get that channel, send me that. I want to see this, because I love this. But anyway,
Did he seriously get laughed at so much that he decided to just nuke his old one and try to make a new one? That is just funny.
That's what a lot of rage bait channels end up
We'll
doing.
disclose a couple of little.
I wasn't done with my
sanity
explanation.
secrets.
Whatever.
So.
Sanity
another
secrets.
Little incident that
Here we go.
Sanity had. Once again.
Once again, some of the semi-OGs of this channel might already know these stories, but for those of you who don't, well, prepare to have those explained, because these upcoming stories are are pretty funny.
And I mean, between the ages of about 5 years to like 9 or 10, this child had multiple little incidents of insanity and just
Ha. Okay, this joke is starting to overstay its welcome.
I mean, I
so when he was about he was just about 5, and it was when his biological father was still alive, and his father was out in the garage with him trying to fix his bicycle, and he had the bicycle turned over on its handlebars, and he was repairing something on the wheel or something along those lines. And he turned his back to go and get a tool. And basically, Sanity thought it was fun to like let the tires spin, which
Yep,
was
here it
fine.
is.
Until he also, for whatever reason, thought that it was also a neat idea to stick his finger in the spokes.
Yeah!
Of the spinning.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
take-
so I was.
Yeah,
I
take
was
a
thinking
wild
either you're
fucking
gonna
guess as
stick
to how
your-
well that ended.
The thing was that I was like, you're either gonna stick your finger in the spokes or you're gonna run your hand along the tire tracks and like burn some rubber on your hands.
Oh yeah, no, it ended up in one of the worst ways imaginable. I almost lost the tip of
please.
my right index finger.
Ah.
I didn't
damn.
lose it. However, because it didn't heal properly, I can't bend the tip of my right index finger properly. I have to like force it to bend basically. It doesn't hurt or anything like that. It's just weird. Like you can barely even tell just by
Nice.
looking at it. I'd literally have to like actually show you that I cannot bend it myself.
I don't care, but that's really interesting.
So
It hasn't really hindered me
that
all too much,
child,
but it's
almost
just a
lost
funny
It's the tip of your
story.
finger.
Finger, this finger. Have him show you that he can't bend this top joint because of that little incident caused his ligament to not appropriately heal.
Again, correction, Mom. It's not that I can't bend it. I can't bend it like normally.
So what's really funny is you are the second person in my life who's gotten very injured in a stupid way.
Funny
first
thing
one-
is that both of my most critical injuries that I've suffered as a child were both caused by bikes, which is probably a main reason why I never learned how to ride
Yeah.
a bike.
So two things. So one, you're the second person in my life that has gotten a critical injury while they were really young, and you're the second person in my life that's gotten a critical injury while on a bike, or at least has gotten injured in a bike-related incident.
Yeah.
So the first one that I can remember of that was my little brother. I think it was either he broke or dislocated his arm.
Oh.
So this needs an explanation. So back in my backyard.
Yeah, exactly,
We had
some kid. I
tree-
can't subconsciously bend it. Like, I can do it with my left index finger.
Subconsciously, excuse me?
Like, I guess, like, you know, like how you normally would.
I didn't know you had that. I didn't know you opened your third eye. My God, are you a Sagittarius right there? Oh wow, very, very Taurus of you, dude. Look, no, but so we had this. It wasn't a jungle gym. It wasn't like a typical jungle gym. It was, if you've ever seen like on a boat where they have a platform with like ladders along the side that you kind of attach that top bit to a boat or something like that, right?
All right.
That was our playground.
Oh.
We were So we attached the slide to it, right? And what ended up happening was my little brother, who I think was about 6 or 7 at the time, fell from that, hit the ground, and I just remember him wearing a cast for the next month. And to be clear, this was about as tall as I am now, so it was about 5 or 6 feet off the ground, ish. And again, my little brother was 7; he was like super small, which is just the funniest thing. We got rid of that pretty quickly. But the
Yeah, I can imagine why.
Yeah, the second thing was actually me involving a bike.
Ah.
Where, so what ended up happening was we were doing mountain biking, and we were on a Black Diamond Trail. And I had a mountain bike, I think it was my dad's at the time, and we were going down like a slight slope kind of incline where there was a turn. And it wasn't necessarily like super big in Black Diamond, because where I live is like super flat. But when I went down, I don't know what happened. I go to like, I think make the turn, or I take the turn a little too fast, and I try to slow, but I flip myself over the handlebars and land very close to this like bush, this pricker bush that was like very close to my face. And I think I nearly lost an eye with this as well. But I remember I hit my hand on it, and one of the things, I think practically punctured my hand, like the center of it. You can't see the scar, but I just remember like going to stand up and was like, huh, wait, where's my bike? And then just 2 seconds later, the back tire hits my head.
Oh!
and,
Oh,
and
Christ, dude, that is brutal.
luckily, I was wearing a helmet. This is why you wear a
That's at
helmet.
least good.
I would have cracked my skull opening. But again, it was one of those things.
That
where,
back tire is just like coming in from downtown!
yeah, it hit me in the
It's
back.
coming in with a steel chair!
And I just remember, like, everyone else, like, oh my god, what the fuck? I just remember like, the bike's, like, on my head, and I'm just sitting there laughing, like, I can't believe that just happened. I think, if I remember correctly, it was it was either the back or the front, one of the tires, definitely. Well, obviously, because it's a bicycle. But one of the tires got so fucked up that it slightly bent. Which is really hilarious to me. It was so crazy. I'm like, whoa, okay, let's not do that again.
Yeah.
So, but luckily I know how to ride a bike.
That's at least good. I just never really learned because...
You're also another person in my life that, like, doesn't know how to ride a bike.
I know how to
Because they got injured when they were really young.
Yeah, I know how to drive, but I just haven't really bothered to ride a bike largely because, again, 2 critical injuries of mine were caused by bikes, and I just don't like them.
There's someone who is much older than you who I know who they are also like, oh, I just take
The helmet was a 90% damage reduction. Bro popped the Opaline bubble tier.
If I showed you the helmet, right, you could see where the bike hit it. You could see the dents in the foam, which how much of an impact that had. I'm like, ugh.
I think that helmet was just like the Opaline bubble tier, just prevented that one hit.
Yeah, it prevented that. Yeah, and the thing I think like it hit in such a way where only the tire hit my head, so like nothing else hit me. And it was just really funny. So I just think that's a funny story of like me getting hit in the head with a bicycle.
Damn.
Bro, I remember.
Anyway.
Bro, I remember, yeah. You know, I had like a fucking big ass scooter with fucking eggs on it in the front, yeah. And I fell off it, yeah. And I don't know what the fuck happened to my leg. And I fucking ripped it open.
Yeah. I can kind of feel that one, because I think that's going to be the upcoming story here.
So now it just stays straight there. So you can only bend this joint and not that one. So much for his trigger finger.
I could still kind of have a trigger finger, it's just that I have to use more than half of my finger to do it.
Yeah.
Probably will never be like a world-class sniper.
Right now,
But that wasn't his only bad
I haven't
experience
joined
with
in like
bicycles.
such a while. I don't think I've joined in like a while.
Yeah.
Nothing really has happened.
I think that's probably one of his...
Oh yeah, didn't he like fight a Viking there or some shit?
Oh, he was trying to play Gaelic football and he fucking failed.
Oh well, unlucky.
Which nemesis is the bicycle. Probably when he was about...
The bicycle is in fact my V2.
I want that bicycle now. That's the Mr. Bean bike. I would love a Mr. Bean bike. That'd be great.
That would be
would be fucking amazing. Because I don't know if you know this. So I actually have a really good bicycle. The bicycle that I have is the bicycle that I have is a monster bicycle. Literally, it's like branded as Monster, but it was my grandfather's, and when he passed, my dad was one of the people that was like, my son would really want this bicycle because I was begging for a bicycle, like my own bicycle for a while now, because I used my dad's, I used this one, I used that one, but I finally got my own, and it has these big thick road tires, and the way that it kind of is shaped is that it looks like a lowrider chopper motorcycle, if you've ever seen one of those, where the handlebars go like super down into the frame, right? You know what I'm talking about?
I can kind of
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It is amazing, and I love it, and it's my baby, and I will take that with me when I move out of my parents' place eventually. That's gonna be mine.
But yeah, I
I
feel
love
like
it.
just like if me and a bike end up in the same room, it's just gonna be this.
Yeah.
It's just you're just gonna hear that going off. My mortal nemesis.
I love my bike.
Mortal enemy.
10
Oh
or
yeah, just for
so,
an
we
update, I
decided
think like Vano tried to like do some sketchy shit again. I don't know exactly what it was.
Oh boy.
I love when the guy drowns himself. I'm sorry.
Oh boy.
we were gonna go
by
over
the-
to Fort DeSoto Park.
Yep, here it is.
And they had
Nice.
those family
Apparently, those
bicycles
not. He
where
tried
you
to
could
make
fit
like.
Oh
a new-
yay.
He made like a new like Snapchat account and it's called like Hunt the Dinosaur. I'm like,
What?
Can we not?
Yeah, can we not?
Can we? Because I wanted to get through this video so this way we could talk about game journalists and how you should trust them. Apparently.
Yeah, we got this story to get through.
4 people on the bicycle, and everybody can
Bicycles,
kind of
Yeah, it was one of those family bikes.
Oh, I see. The group bicycle.
Yeah, it was one of those family bikes that happened. And yeah, this is again. I
Please,
think this
please.
was I think this was a
I
story
think I know where
that
this is going, but please don't.
I think this was a story that I already detailed in like another old video of mine.
Well, can we
pedal if they want
continue?
Yeah, let
Don't keep
us.
us in suspense. Don't keep us in suspense. Oh my god!
You're keeping yourself in suspense by fucking talking.
especially the front people. And so initially, myself and Mr. Goblin, we were up in the front seat pedaling, and of course Sanity was minimally doing any kind of pedaling, but he decided he wanted to be up in the front
Wait,
seat
hello?
to like do more
oh,
pedaling. So we switched around and he got up in the front seat with me. And at some point in time, he, I don't know, just got tired of pedaling and didn't really pay attention to the fact that by dropping his foot down into the area where the pedal and everything was, that was going to catch his foot and cause the whole mechanism to keep going ahead of him while his foot decided it was going to be dragged underneath the entire bicycle.
Yeah,
Oh no! I thought I knew where this was going. Did you break your leg?
no, I didn't break my leg. Surprisingly enough, I've
God.
never suffered an actual broken bone, but I get a nasty ass scrape on my ankle. I still have the scar
Yeah.
to this day.
I think the weirdest story that I've ever heard someone tell me is, having a girlfriend where they went up to this like little landing in a bluff area and got super embarrassed because of what you do with a girlfriend at the time.
Mm.
In public, in the middle of what you think there is, and there was a party happening just above them that could hear everything. And I'm not going to say any more than that.
Okay, yeah, let's not let's not elaborate any further.
They know who they are, and I don't think that they will ever see this, but I love you, so good night.
Yes, kid, I've never actually suffered an actual broken bone. Although I did technically was instrumental in accidentally breaking a former friend of mine's arms.
Oh.
And that is an entire story in and of itself that, once again, I've detailed in the injury story video. Long story short, it involved an electric scooter, 2 plastic lightsabers, and a janky-ass sidewalk. And it ended up resulting in some Ave Maria type event happening, where my friend ended up hitting the edge of one of the janky-ass sidewalk parts, flipped over, and landed hard on his arms.
Ow.
Thing was is that I thought he only dislocated his hand at that time, until I noticed that he
No.
didn't come in for school for about a month.
I thought he dislocated his hand. Turns out, like, I thought he dislocated his hand, that you don't see the bone sticking out. I was like, what is
Actually,
that?
no, it wasn't anything like that. But the thing was is that I, like, ran over to him to make sure that he was okay. I saw that, like, I think it was either his left or his right hand. I can't remember which one it was. But, like, one of his hands was, like, you know, out of place. And I was like, I'm gonna go get help. I'm gonna go get some help. And he was just like, okay. He just sat there, was just like, oh, okay, I'm fine.
I think he was still in shock.
Yeah, he was still in shock
You're-
up until he
you're
got
in
into the
that
car.
Yeah, you're at that point when you're just sitting there, like, looking at it, you're like, thank God for shock, you know?
Apparently, at least according to him, he didn't fucking feel anything until he got into the car.
Yeah. So I also have a stupid story like that.
But
So
the-
I was trying to.
But yeah, the thing was is that I didn't even know that he broke both of his arms until, like, one day he just came into class with a cast on, like, both of his forearms. I'm like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, I think the funniest stupid injury I got was Okay, so so I was trying to separate two, you know how hamburgers get stuck together? I was trying to separate them with a
Oh
knife.
no. Oh,
And
no.
And it
I didn't
slipped.
get-
Oh no.
It slipped and my thumb got caught by it. The worst part is that it was much deeper than you think it is because it was serrated,
Oh.
and I didn't put. And you think like, oh, that shouldn't really matter. No, it matters a lot because it took about the way that it happened. Like you can't really see it. You can't really see it now. But what happened was I cut it in such a way that there was like a small flap of skin that was overlapping with where I cut it, and it took like a month to get back to looking at least decently normal. I didn't cut it deep. It was like the size of a normal pizza
Game
cut, but there
Penguin
was a
Burger.
time- Gross. But there was a time when I could look at my thumb and I could see an indent as to where the knife had cut me. That's how much I lost. And I looked at it
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh, and I could feel, and it was like one of those cuts that was so deep you could feel your blood pumping. I'm like, no, I had to
Oh.
quickly get the fucker. It was bad. It was bad. Luckily, don't worry. To anyone who knew this, I washed the knife very thoroughly, put it
That's-
through the dishwasher.
I think people are probably more concerned over the injury than the knife.
Yeah, but I'm fine. It wasn't like I don't have sickle cell anemia where I can't I have to go to the doctor to get a thing to
Yeah.
fucking get that. It's
But,
fine. It just hurt really fucking bad after about 20 minutes because
Yeah,
that's when I realized.
I can
"Ah,
imagine.
pain."
But I guess, long
again,
story
it's
short,
like-
after that event, after I saw that, let's just say that electric scooter ended up, like, collecting dust, and I don't know where it is to this day. I think we probably ended up, like, selling it or something.
Nice.
So, yeah, it never saw the light of day again after that because I was terrified to ever ride that thing again. Like, I was just like... like, after that day, I was just like, that shit could have been me.
So that was not a great experience. He fortunately did not lose his foot,
Bro, I literally
and
used to own
he
like
only
funny
ended up like
scooters and then I'd
spraining
fall
his
off them.
ankle. I mean, he was really lucky. We were terrified that he had like fractured something.
Hello?
Huh?
Oh.
What's going on? Alright, cool talk.
Great talk.
Dislocated something, but he came out of that with literally only like a sprain to like the ankle.
Yeah, I think at worst I probably ended up spraining that ankle, and I still have this nasty scar to this day. Like, you can, like,
Yeah.
nowadays I can only, like, faintly see it, but, like, it's still visible enough to where I
Do
can,
I still
like,
have-
lean back and I can still see it.
Yeah, I've never
kind
sprained
of
anything in my
see-
life.
Thankfully,
can
I
kinda
have
see
yet
mine.
to experience a broken bone, and I hope it
Okay.
stays that way.
Yeah, there you can kind of see a little bit of a scar that I have. from a kindergarten where, much like the knife incident, it wasn't anything to do with the knife, but I just remember distinctly I was flying a kite, and I was in the parking lot of the kindergarten because they had like gated things, and you were going to do that, and we were doing summer stuff. I just remember I trip and I see the kite kind of floating away, and it went into a tree.
Oh.
And I just remember, like, I was on the ground looking around at something, and then I just feel something on my leg and I just start crying. Turns out what I did was my knee had hit not the manhole that was in the street, but around the manhole where there was a bunch of little rocks,
Oh.
and I somehow took out about, I want to say, like not a centimeter because it's too much, like 1/10 of a millimeter of of my of my knee.
Ah.
And you might think like, oh, that doesn't sound like that. Like, no. It went past the epidermis into the dermis, and there wasn't any bone visible, but it nearly went past the other one. Like, it went past the epidermis and most of the dermis, if you know skin, that is.
Yeah.
And it was
again,
bad.
Not
It
pleasant.
was very bad. It was very bad. So, ow.
So, yeah, and needless to say, Sanity does not know how to ride a bicycle. So, I wonder if some of that is because he is terrified of bicycles.
That is part of the reason why. Like, again,
Oh,
2
please.
massive traumatic injuries have been caused by bikes.
Or whatnot, but so
The bike has become my mortal nemesis.
adventures when he was growing up that I'm disclosing to all of you now. So you can make fun of him, how he doesn't know how to ride a bicycle, and how the bicycle has almost amputated a foot and a finger.
Yes.
So, and that's all in a non-effort.
Again, I swear to God, bikes have it out for me.
Oh,
They just have it out for me.
Sanity.
Oh
Sanity.
no. What have you found?
I have found
Come on, spit it out.
cyclophobia or bicyclophobia is the fear of being on a bicycle. Cyclophobia is commonly triggered from negative experiences involving bicycle riding, such as falling off a bike, as well as getting tired out, sweated, parched, or nauseous caused by bike riding.
I think it's more like
That
I
is
just did not want to get
insane.
onto a bike.
Well,
Okay,
that still qualifies. That still
Yeah.
qualifies because you also get triggered from negative experiences involving bike riding.
Again, I nearly I guess you could say any experiences with the bike have almost cost me an arm and a leg. So there you go.
It's really funny because I love doing that when I just getting interested in random things. I'm like, what does that do? Just like pull up Google really quickly, see if that's a thing. It's the same reason why I found out the definition of words.
All right. So the sauce is still a little bit. It's kind of thick,
Right.
so I may add a little bit of milk to that. And we will get back to you, and I'll show you
It's like porridge.
the sauce, and we'll start on the egg. Alright, so I added a little bit of cream to the sauce because we're all out of milk. I believe most of the little lumps in there are like the little bacon bits, if you can tell. But either way, who cares? It's melted cheese, and who doesn't love melted cheese, even if it's a little lumpy?
I mean, welcome to America, where we just kind of thrive on cheese.
Alright, so you have to use 4 cups of water to a 1/4 cup of vinegar, and you put it in a saucepan over high heat, get it kind of bubbling real good, and then lower the temperature down to like a medium to low simmer. They also recommend that you crack your egg and put that into a bowl, not crack it right over the water.
Not enough cheese.
And you get this little circular vortex going before you dump it in.
Okay.
And having a slotted spoon is best.
I would assume so.
The vinegar helps to get that white to kind of solidify a bit more. And then you just cook long enough to get the yolk a slightly runny consistency.
Alright.
This is probably not what I would consider perfect, but
I mean, it looks good enough, I'd
well,
say.
I've only tried this a couple of times. I guess it's pretty good. So we'll have to see if Sanity tries his hand at this.
I mean, I might. Who knows?
So here I made the poached egg with some Gouda and bacon cheese sauce that I poured over the top. And then just a nice, easy, frozen...
Again, who the hell cares if it's a... if it's a frozen hash brown? I don't care.
hash brown, and then some toast with a little butter on it. And then, of course, you always have to have bacon. So, you know, who doesn't love bacon? But that's pretty much it. We're going to take a quick peek and see how well I cooked the poached egg. Is it
Well,
going
let's
to
see.
still be runny? Or did I overdo it?
That bread looks kind of burnt.
Uh,
Crispy.
Oh, I didn't cut it. There we go.
Missed the yolk. How did you miss the yolk?
I can't look at that.
I mean, it looks okay.
I mean, I don't like eggs really to begin with. I mean, except for apart from like scrambled eggs and like an omelet, like that to me is over easy, hard boiled. I have a terrible story with hard boiled eggs where I was half like forced to eat one. Not I wasn't tortured, but so what ended up happening was I was doing this training for like a Boy Scouts thing. It was for like an honor program within the Boy Scouts, and that day we were doing manual labor practically all day with like no real people talking because that's just how this kind of worked. And for I believe like breakfast, it was one hard-boiled egg and like some water, and that was it. Because it was like, oh, you gotta live like this, and it's like I now realize that's kind of stupid because I couldn't eat the yolk. I tried it; it tasted like sulfur. It was bad. It's gross.
Yeah.
Anyway, you ready to talk about
Yeah, here we
talk about
go.
the
Let's get
thing now?
started here.
All right. Hold on. I gotta pull the recording. Why light mode? Ah, my eyeballs.
I don't fucking know. I'm not signed into this shit. Is there a way to change this shit into dark mode without needing to sign the fuck in? Nope, doesn't look like it. I'll go fuck myself.
Opera GX, baby.
Yeah, I
Forces
don't use
dark
that.
mode. Get fucked. Well, that sounds like a you problem. Anyway, hold on. All right. Okay, gotta do the intro.
Alright, here we go.
Big stretch. What the fuck? Oh, god damn it. Why is people calling me right now? Hold on.
Yeah, tell me about it with fucking spam calls, man.
Yeah.
I still can't believe that literally one of the caller IDs that I ended up getting was literally just probably fraud. That was the caller ID!
Right.
Hey, Hikita. Hey, Hikita, what's the next layer after violence? Hikita, probably fraud.
Bye. Okay, that was my driving test instructor.
Fun.
So.
What browser you
I'm
use,
taking my
Sandy?
road
I
test
just
Monday.
I just use Chrome, man.
All right. Damn it. Okay. Anyway, intro time. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody. It is me, Game Penguin 21, and today I have a special guest. Talking about an interesting article that I found while browsing the internet. And that special guest is.
And that would be me. My name is Sanity. You probably already know me from a handful of videos on Game Penguin's channel, and he's also appeared on my channel as well, so yeah. And I think this is an article that was probably recommended to me like a while ago. Like, I vaguely remember this title. I feel like someone probably sent this to me. I wanted to take a look at it, and then it just completely left my fucking mind. But
yeah, so you might not be able to see it, but we are kind of doing this live, so this is going to be a little bit different, hence why the microphone quality might be a little odd. But I did manage to get it to where I can use the Samson microphone, which is my favorite. So this is an article by The Gamer. Now, The Gamer is one of those, is like a Kotaku, but like not, you know, just a different flavor of Kotaku in some ways. But they're a gaming journalist that's essentially trying to convince us that it's time to start trusting video game reviewers.
In fact, that is
literally
the title of it, and I find it very interesting that they're using. I'm assuming Shadow of the Erd Tree is probably going to be brought up.
Yeah,
here.
You can tell because of
judging
the tree.
judging by the thumbnail that we're getting of this article.
Beautiful screenshot though. Like, look at that.
Yeah.
Beautiful site.
This is like some shit that I would probably use as like my desktop
Look,
background.
I
My
just
desktop
now realized
background, for those of you who are wondering, my
looks like a
desktop
veil.
background right now is literally just like a screenshot from like the Lord of Frenzied Flame ending from Elden Ring.
Like this right here, like I love the detailing in this. Like you can see all the foreground, but like you notice the details in the sky where it kind of like looks like this tree is holding up the veil of the sky.
Oh yeah, I've always wondered why there's like veils in the sky though. Like why is that?
Beautiful. I think it's so. If I'm thinking about it correctly, it might be that since the Erd Tree itself is like dying in this universe, that it's literally the thing that's holding up the sky, and all of the other like darkness that surrounds the shit in this sky is the darkness of the universe trying to come in, right? Because I
don't think it's the Erd Tree that's dying in this one. I don't think it's like a different universe, but it's like a different part of like
a
the
mirror universe.
It's like a different part of like the lands between entirely, but it's like outside of the purview of the Erd Tree basically. Which is why there's like a different kind of Erd Tree in this one, where it's the Shadow Tree or the Scatter Tree or however the fuck you pronounce it.
Yeah, and I think
that's probably why there's veils there, because it's kind of like
it's
way literally
too much based on this article.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's probably why there's veils in the sky, because it's like literally veiling away from like the Erd Tree, and that's probably also why the Scatter Tree blessings and whatever.
Anyway,
else let's actually get into the fucking article. I could probably go on about like Elden Ring lore for time immemorial, but we need to get into this article. So it's titled, It's Time to Start Trusting Video Game Reviewers, by a Mr. Benjamin Sledge. What a fucking name, can I just state? Why does this man have the hardest fucking name, but he creates like the most flaccid fucking article title?
Yeah, okay. So, scrolling on down here.
Yeah, let's see here.
Do you want to start reading or do you want me?
I guess I will start it off here. So let's see here. I get it. Games journalists are terrible at video games. Remember that one guy playing Cuphead? Let's ignore the fact that games journalists regularly beat entire games in a far shorter time span than regular people who don't have deadlines to meet. Turn a blind eye to the fact that they don't have a single guide to help them beat a difficult boss or access an area with some abstruse entry method, like drinking poison that kills you at any other time. Forget the fact that they beat them before the patches arrived to make the game easier. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. First of all, who the fuck actually gives a shit? But also, like, that's not the problem, okay? Like, we get it. You have deadlines and shit like that. But, like, the biggest problem when it comes to game journalists, especially, like, the more well-known ones, and not for good reasons, the more well-known ones that are not very well-known for good reasons, they usually, like, complain about shit that just doesn't make any fucking sense. Or they, like, complain about shit that's already, like, a long-standing and beloved part of, like, a game franchise or something like that. Right. Or they, like, pull an Alyssa Mercant and they, for some reason, decide to, like, compare it to the real-life world that they experience for whatever godforsaken reason. Like, that, like, we don't give a shit that you, like, complete it, like, in a short amount of time, or that you don't have, like, wiki guides that haven't been set up yet, or, like, whatever in God's good name you're trying to fucking state here. the big problem is that, like, journalists nowadays are such a massive fucking joke, partially due to just, like, the people that complain about nonsense.
Yeah, I 100% agree. By the way, I just kind of had to look this up because I don't remember specifically. That Cuphead example, by the way, is about 6 years old, right? Just as like a timeline of events. The one guy who played Cuphead, who was a games journalist, who failed at the tutorial, calling this game awful. He's done another one where he did Doom as well. But that's about 6 years old now in terms
Jesus
of just time
Christ.
frame.
It makes me feel like a fossil, man.
Yeah, no. It definitely. But the thing is that the one big problem that I have with most video games journalists, the only one that I can say for like that's a good games journalist, because there are a couple of them, is like Yahtzee Croshaw, because he's amazing in what he does because he reviews like a game every week, and like he does it in the best way that I know possible. Like, yeah, he's sarcastic. Yeah, he makes like weird jokes and stuff, but he's very apolitical in his stances. And that's what I think you need to be when you're doing any sort of journalism. Be as apolitical as possible. And that's the problem with most of the game journalists nowadays, is that they're there to exclusively push something. Like defending Sweet Baby Inc., defending this, and it's just yeah.
Yeah, and that is also, like, another problem. Like, they kind of seem to be trying too hard to, like, push certain things. That's not something I try to focus on too much, largely because that's not something that I particularly care too much about, unless it's, like, you know, like, unless it's, like, something that, obviously, like, I immediately take notice of. But, like, the thing that I usually take notice of whenever it comes to, like, games journalists is that they just seem to bitch about shit that just doesn't matter.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Anyway.
that's the problem that I have. They just bitch about shit that just doesn't matter, or is shit that people enjoy about the games.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Elden Ring is too hard.
The Elden Ring DLC is too hard. Like, I can kind of semi-understand that when it comes to, like, the final boss, but the final boss is... It's kind of whatever. Like, I still don't enjoy it, but I've grown to at least semi-tolerate it now. That's really all I can say about it. Anyways, they also hate video games and choose to cover this beat because they want to destroy the entire industry. It doesn't matter that wages are low across the sector and crunch is rife, especially when reviewing 100-hour games with bafflingly tight turnarounds. We hate video games and can't wait to tear them down.
I don't think that that's correct. I think that that's one of those things where they do like video games, but I've come to realize as soon as I started making content creation, because the job that I have is a lot of content creation. As soon as I realized like how much work goes into the content creation that I'm supposed to make for my job, I'm like, I don't want to do any of it.
Yeah, like like again, this is something that I brought up, I think, in like a previous video of mine about that guy that was bitching about the fact that women have positions within like the gaming industry and whatnot, and you know, he had that like same sentiment of like, oh, these journalists and these game developers, they just fucking hate video games and they hate gamers and shit like that. And I brought up that like, just from any kind of standpoint, that just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Like, it just comes
again,
across to me as just, like, a blanket statement just so we can try and rile up as many idiots as humanly possible. Like, I don't think they hate video games, I just think that half the time they just don't fucking understand what's going on.
Yeah, no, I think that in essence, to kind of go off what you were saying, women have been in video games since the beginning. Don't believe me? There was literally the people who invented coding was a woman in the military. And there was, I believe, like a CEO or a CFO, I mentioned this before, of someone that worked at Atari in terms of video games. So those are at least two examples that I can think of. But they've been involved in video games for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess to somewhat rile up the anti-woke crowd a little bit here.
Yeah.
But if I remember correctly, I think the guy... I might be somewhat mistaken on this one, but I believe the guy that pretty much, like, kind of, you know, put the final nail in the coffin when it comes to, like, World War II and, like, computing and whatnot, was literally, like, a gay dude.
Nice. Very nice.
Which I still find that funny to this day because like I find that a bit of trivia just extremely funny because it's just kind of like brought up as just like a side note. It's just like, oh yeah, this guy was also gay, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool.
That tracks. Yeah. Oh my god, that reminds me.
We've
of this
hated
pastor.
Nazis since the beginning.
Yeah, that reminds me of this pastor that I recently found out about, where he literally, he spoke out and like, oh, women and all this other good stuff, and yet behind the scenes was literally, he was waiting until they were 18, but he was doing the
no.
actual grooming thing. Like, hey, do you want to do OnlyFans stuff? Like, what, bruh?
Also,
You are.
anyways, let's just wait.
Continue
Wait a
on
minute.
now.
I'm taking a look at this screenshot right here. Why are you? I'm sorry. Why are you using the sacred relic sword? Why are you using that? Yeah, that's a sacred relic sword. You can even see like the Ash of War, Wave of Gold. That is. Why are you using that fucking weapon?
On what boss is that?
That's just the Lamenter from like one of the jails and whatnot. But like, why are you like? I guess I can kind of understand it because the Lamenter
Probably his
summons in like shadow.
build.
I mean, I can kind of semi-understand like using Wave of Gold to like deal with like the shadow clones. I think that the Lamenter kind of brings up, but like, if you already have like something else, you don't even have to worry about it. Like when I fought the Lamenter, I just fucking stun-locked the bitch with the backhand blades.
Nice. Okay, moving on. Okay, moving on.
Anyways, the mythic.
I want to read down.
All right. You can read it. Go ahead.
All right. The myth that games journalists not only suck at video games but also actively hate the medium is one that I've never understood. However, the issue with game reviews is much easier to parse. Thank you. Gaming in 2024 is team-based. You're on Team Xbox or Team PlayStation, Team Fortnite or Team COD, Team Stellar Blade or Team Censorship, Team Developer or Team Journalist. That's how many gamers see it, at least. That's just life in general right now. Everyone's like, there's an in-group and an out-group.
Yeah, and I can kind of understand the irritation behind that. Again, this is something that I believe I brought up within the, Women Ruin Video Games video, but this is like something that I can at least understand the exhaustion of. Like, I think this was literally brought up, in that one screenshot of, like, the game developer that had the really... It had a terrible title. It was a Reddit post, funnily enough, but it was a Reddit post with, like, a pretty out there title where it was, like, titled something like, I'm a games developer and I'm starting to hate gamers, but when you actually began to read into it, it was literally just a guy venting his frustrations about the gatekeepy assholes within the gaming community, and I'm like, I can kind of understand this guy, obviously... And I hate those people too. I've gone after those kinds of idiots. I fucking hate gatekeepy assholes that say, oh, you're not a true fan if you do this, or, you can't enjoy video games if you do X, Y, and Z, or you're not a true gamer if you don't play on this specific platform. Like, I fucking hate those people. Play whatever you want. Play however the fuck you want. Play on whatever system you want. Just don't be an asshole, okay? That's my MO.
One of, if not the biggest things here is, I think I mentioned this in a video that is, oh my god, at least 5 years old now. But I broke it down as there was, because I took social psychology in school and psychology, because I can do marketing. And the thing is that when you're talking about groups of people, like communities and stuff, there are such things as in-groups and out-groups. The in-groups are the people that you associate the most with, and the people that are like your friends, your benefactors, your ETC, whatever the fuck. The end-all, be-all of it is that the outgroups are kind of ousted in that way, and I forgot how I explained it in the original context of this, but when you have those kinds of groups and that they get very hostile, I think that video aged great, by the way, but when they get hostile towards each other, that kind of rifes the discourse a bit, and it's an interesting thought experiment of like, what would happen, right, if you took one person from each of the groups and like the extreme strawmans that people use, put them into a room, what would happen in that context? That just sounds like a really interesting experiment to do, right?
It sounds like a game of the Isle waiting to happen. But
yeah, I think I also brought up the. Have you ever heard of the myth of the allegory of the cave? Have you heard of this?
I'm not sure if I have.
So the allegory of
explain it.
The allegory of the cave is essentially you have a cave, and it is very pitch black and dark in there. The only source of light is from behind and above people who are chained and are facing a wall. That wall is being projected images and shadows that people behind this wall are projecting onto the wall. The thought experiment comes in of what happens when you release that person from that place that they've known their entire lives and bring them outside of the cave into the actual real world. What would they see? How would they react? And it goes on to explain how when that person reaches that level of understanding and like, oh, what I was shown wasn't actually what exactly happens in the real world, what would happen if you then take that same person, bring them back down into the cave and have them try to convince the other people to leave that cave to try to experience the real world and what's happening, that the people in there would then kill that person. Because because what they understand of their world, which is the whole cave thing, is that they don't have a full grasp or understanding of what actually is happening. And that becomes more relevant the more you think about it.
But yeah,
Philosophy with Game Penguin today.
Yeah, I think I've probably heard of that before. It's like
It's
like one of those
you
things
can look
where
up,
I
like, an
feel like
old
I've
school
vaguely
theory.
heard of it before, but like,
Yeah. If you've ever taken a Philosophy 101 class in college, like that's a big thing in that.
Yeah.
Just look it up, like Allegory of the Cave, look it up after this. Anyway.
anyways,
There is a major problem with games marketing that fuels the fundamental misery. Hype trailers for games years away from release whip fans into a fervor, and the excitement heightens to a level where any criticism of the game is seen as a personal slight. Calling Still Ablaze protagonist Eves boring meant you're a part of the pro-censorship. What?
Wokarati, who can't stand a beautiful
Wokarati.
woman leading a game.
Yeah.
I kind of
agree.
find. I guess I can kind of see the annoyance from that kind of thing. Like I can kind of understand the annoyance with that one, and honestly, I just kind of find it funny. Again, this was something that there's so many parallels between this and that fucking women ruin video game video that I took a look at. But like, I still remember this was literally brought up. But like, the entire thing with like the Stellar Blade controversy was that it was entirely just one-sided. It was just the anti-woke crowd basically thinking that the game was whipping a whole bunch of like, a bunch of the woke crowd into like a triggered frenzy, when in reality they just didn't give a shit.
I mean, I guess, but also like when the people started to scream censorship, they're like, oh, this game hasn't been censored, and they tried to rewrite history, and like, oh, people weren't getting mad about this. And that's the one big thing that I can say here is the problem with games journalists, right, is that they cannot ever take constructive criticism.
Yeah,
and that brings me back into the allegory of the cave, where we're the people who knows how on the ground floor things actually work in terms of at least the video games, or at least we have a better understanding of consumer and stuff like that, because we actually consume the products and stuff there because we can see it, but they only see the vague shadows of what they think the games industry is, and that's how it feels a lot of the times. And you can kind of point to several different examples for that.
Yeah.
So
anyways, let's see here. Team Elden Ring got mad last week when a couple of reviews said it was too difficult. Accusations flew across the Twitter sphere. The critics behind said reviews were told in no uncertain terms to get good, and suffered far worse abuse, as misogynistic as it was vitriolic. Cuphead has been brought up again. Okay, I might as well just kind of bring it up here, but who the fuck was bringing up Cuphead? Second of all, where was the like, maybe I can kind of understand it from like some of the really dumb motherfuckers that decide to go after Alyssa Mercant purely because she's just a woman that's like a games journalist and whatnot. People like me, we go after Alyssa Mercant because she's just fucking stupid.
yeah.
Like,
Also,
she's just
look
the
at
one
note,
games
by the
journalist that decided to make really dumb comparisons, and that's the only reason why I decided to make a video on her. Not because she's a woman. She could have been a man doing the exact same thing, and I probably would have just went just as hard. But like,
look at the note, by the way.
There's
Read
another
that.
issue here to do with reading comprehension and media literacy, but I won't get into that one today. I mean, I can kind of somewhat understand that, but in this case,
Yeah.
I don't think it has to do with media literacy. I think it just has to come with you just not fucking understanding anything.
I do believe that everyone's always like, oh, well, I feel like you're too critical of things. Like, I'm not too critical of things. Or at least I don't feel that way. I try to bring it to as median of a difference as possible, where, yes, we critique things, and we can critique things very harshly, but I think in some aspects, if you've ever looked at like movie reviews or like reviewers in general that do this as a job for money, there is such a thing as being overly critical of something, right? Because when you do this as a job, when you're seeing all the movies and the video game stuff, you notice specific patterns, and those specific patterns get boring to you. Because, say, just to use random numbers, right? Let's say the average person goes to the movie theater about 10 to 20 times per year, not per week, per year. But that same person who's a movie reviewer is out at the movie theater for 10 to 20 times per month, right? It's nearly every day of the month that they are going out and seeing a movie and then doing it as a job for a review. Right? You tend to, when you see something more frequently, make assumptions about like, okay, so this is going to do this, and you can predict things, and then it becomes boring to you. Like, think of the things that bore you now that were not boring at the time. Like video games that you're like, oh, this game's done, and I've deleted it off your computer, or games that you liked in the past that are no longer good, right?
Mhm.
Because you start to notice patterns in it. It's like a pattern recognition thing. So,
Yeah. But
Anyway.
like, I just kind of feel like that again. I can understand like the kinds of people that they're basically just kind of telling the reviewers that are getting mad at the difficulty of like Elden Ring and whatnot to like get good, because again, first of all, that's just like a common meme within the Souls community, but also second of all, like you're complaining about a fundamental aspect of like the entire fucking series that is the primary drawing factor of like the games
Also-
themselves.
Also, fun fact about Elden Ring. Miyazaki said in an interview, he's like, I haven't created the perfect RPG yet when talking about Elden Ring. I'm like, that's based. Like that's literally like seeing your child get like a solid B's and like an A or two across their report card. It's like, you can do a bit better than this, man. Like that is insane to me. But
Yeah.
like and the thing was that like he doesn't want it to be perfection. That's the thing. He
Yeah.
doesn't want it to be perfection. He wants to be perfect for him. And I'm like, that is so based. So
That's respectful. That's respectful. Right there.
anyway, moving down.
Fast forward a week, and players are leveling the very same accusations at the From Software DLC. Countless mods have added easy modes to the game, one called Journalist Mode!
Nice.
I'm sorry, I fucking love that. Despite the fact that journos beat the game without needing it. Players feel bosses are unfair and believe that systems are too obtruse, yet they refuse to engage with some of the game's core mechanics due to believing that they are a cheat's way out. I wonder if any of them apologize to their viewers who pointed out these very issues. Again, I can understand like the hypocrisy behind like those kinds of people, because I guess in this case, as Assman Bronze comes to mind here, which funnily enough, I recently found out that he apparently has effectively uploaded a video basically shitting on like customer service workers for requiring tips in order for them to even be able to live.
Yeah. I mean,
Which is,
it-
coming from someone who used to work in a job that required tips for me to work to actually be able to make proper money. That pissed me off.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing on tipping. The whole tipping culture comes from the Great Depression, as we've kind of gone over, and I'll probably not include this in the video, but if I do, the essence of tipping is essentially, I don't like tipping as a concept. Tipping as a concept sucks a lot. However, you still do it because you don't want to be a dick to people, right? I might not like the system. I might be very critical of pay the people more so I don't have to pay their bills or pay them specifically. But since that system still exists, I can't find it in my heart to say like, oh, I won't just tip. Like, no, stopping tipping won't be the problem. Like, it doesn't solve the problem.
Yeah, it won't
Stopping
really
tipping does
solve
not
the
solve
problem.
the problem.
What
You can be
solves the
critical of
problem,
it.
like, yeah, you can be critical of it, and the thing is that even I myself want the tipping culture to end, but the thing is that with Assman Bronze and his entire video, he wants tipping culture to end purely because he just doesn't want to actually, like, you know, provide people a living wage. Meanwhile, I want tipping culture
Yeah.
to end because I want companies to actually pay their fucking workers properly.
Exactly, 100%. I agree.
Like, we both want it to end, but for very different reasons. Assman Bronze wants it to
Yes.
end because he's a greedy motherfucker. I want it to end because I'm sick and tired of being underpaid.
Yes.
But,
Moving
like,
on here.
when it comes to
It's
this
not
one, I can
just-
understand the anger of, like, the hypocrisy and whatnot from, like, certain people. But, like, you know, the thing is
Yeah.
that, like, when I was struggling with,
look,
like, certain things and whatnot...
We're
like,
going on too
yeah.
long about this. Let's
yeah,
move on.
Yeah, let's just move on here.
It's not just Elden Ring. It's not just an Elden Ring problem. When Kelly Plague reviewed Cyberpunk 2077 for GameSpot, she was hounded by thousands of players pointing out the game's negatives. She didn't like the edgy aesthetics that played no meaningful part in the gameplay. She was labeled as a prude. She pointed out offensive depictions of minorities. So she was called an SJW. She called out the technical issues obvious even on PC. So she suffered a barrage of hatred. Plague was receiving end of a whirlwind abuse from gamers excited for CD Projekt Red's new titles. 8 years in the making, their excitement as well as the marketing campaign blinded them from seeing fair criticism as exactly that, fair. I don't know her, but I imagine she was excited to play the game too. Games journalists and critics like games. And yet her 7 out of 10 reviews sparked days of collective outrage. Okay, let me be clear here. Out of the 3 things listed, only one is actual good critique.
Yeah, only one of them is
Only
an
one.
actually good critique, and that is the technical issues, which the moment that the
Yes.
game came out, everybody fucking noticed.
Everyone realized. Yeah.
Again,
the
thankfully, at
technical issues are
least CD
big.
Projekt Red are kind of going through like a Hello Games redemption arc right now, where they're actually working on the game and it's actually good now. But like,
Yeah, and that's kind of been their whole process, because if you remember, I think The Witcher 3 also had a lot of problems at the beginning, and then
Yeah.
they worked on it, became like the best game ever, and they sold it for years and years and years.
Yeah.
So I think that they're doing the same thing here. But so again, the edgy aesthetics played no meaningful part in the gameplay. They played a meaningful part in the fucking story and lore and thing of the actual game world. So that seems very important. Right?
exactly.
Like, to create an aesthetic of cyberpunk, not utopia, but the opposite of that.
The
right?
dystopia.
Of a cyberpunk world, yeah, the dystopia, of where you are physically under the boot of shit.
Yeah,
right? And creating
literally,
a dank,
if I
dirty
remember correctly,
environment.
like the entire thing of like Cyberpunk 2077 and whatnot is that like it's basically just like a dystopia where, you know, there's like cybernetic enhancements and whatnot, but like it's all under like
Everything
the
is run by
shoe of like
corporations.
corporate control.
Yeah. Again, the edgy aesthetics do play a meaningful role in the story of it as well, which is the whole big point of that. It's the same thing with like how Elden Ring, right? It's hard difficulty and people complaining about it being hard. That's the point
Yeah,
in
that's-
the fucking story. That is gameplay literally affecting the story of a game, right?
The entire point.
Am I taking crazy pills here?
Like, the entire point of, like, not just with Elden Ring, but with, like, Souls games in general, is that, like, it's meant to be a challenge that you're kind of meant to kind of gradually figure out how to deal with, so that way you can eventually overcome it. It's kind of like a case of, like, the indomitable human spirit, if you will, where you eventually figure out what you're supposed to do, and you eventually overcome it, and that's kind of the point.
Yeah, and then there's the second point, which is pointing
Oh,
out
so
the
it's basically
offensive
Neuralink? I
depictions
mean, you're
of-
not wrong. You're not wrong, Neil.
You're not wrong. But so pointed out the offensive depictions of minorities and being called an SJW. Look, I, having played the game, haven't seen that. right? I didn't see it in that throughout the entire game. I did not see any sort of offensive depictions.
I mean, I'll have to
Maybe
ask my
one.
friend Domino, as they've also I think they used to be on like this massive bender of like Cyberpunk 2077 at some point. I'll have to ask them and ask them as like
Yeah,
for the confirmation. But like,
just to go through the different like areas here. I think like the offensive part that she might be talking about are people like that are side characters. Like you team up with one Japanese guy who was once a corporation, like once part of a corporation, but then he has to help you to kind of fix something, and like you can either save him or he can have him killed. And that sucks. But then there was also one that was in the earlier game that was, I believe, Jackie. He was a Latino person, and he was like your partner in crime because he was like one of those street kids stuff. And it's like, oh, that might be offensive because it's like, no, it's not, because most of the stuff has very good characterizations. And again, it's one of those things like you can get offended by anything. But I didn't see any of that offensive content ever. I didn't see anyone in like that sort of like very stereotypical stuff, or
Yeah.
any sort of like character that was just like a one-off that like, oh, that person was this color and that's fine. Like they didn't fucking care at the end of the day.
I think like judging by like how this is formatted, it just kind of seems to be almost like a case similar to the Alyssa Mercant Elden Ring DLC thing.
Yeah.
Where
Except the
it was
entire
like,
article is that-
where it's like, you know, really terrible and like pointing out nothing burger points and whatnot, and then like when the actual major problem comes out, barely anyone is listening because you've already basically bored them with like something else that didn't even fucking matter, so why should they care about that? Like, it's just kind of like one of those cases where you basically fucked up the entire article at that point. Like, you should have just started off with the actual main fucking point.
Yeah. Okay, scroll on down. Let's keep going.
Yeah. However, when the game released, fans saw the truth for themselves. Just days after Plague's review was published, a post appeared on the Cyberpunk subreddit titled, "Everyone talks shit about her, but I'm starting to agree with, Kelly Plague." On the whole, the review was more positive than the sentiment on the subreddit. The fan reaction was so intense that a new subreddit, r/low-sodium cyberpunk, was set up by the minority of fans wanting to escape the swaths turning on the game for the exact reasons, Plague pointed out. I feel like most people were probably mainly pointing out the, you know, massive problems when it came to, you know, the technical problems and whatnot, and not any of the other issues. But whatever, I guess completely omit that point.
We're like 30 minutes recording. Let's continue. We break down every paragraph. We're gonna be here forever.
What gives? At what point do you start trusting game critics and those who review your games? As much as you think we're different to you. God damn it, I'm getting a phone call. Hang on.
What gives? At what point do you start trusting game critics and those who review your games? As much as you think we're different to you, that we have different agendas and want to tear down the things you love, we're not. We love video games. We wouldn't do this job otherwise, but we have to be honest about our opinions. So find someone with similar opinions to you. While Eurogame reviewer has found the DLC so difficult it spoiled their experience. Our review released From Software's seemingly insurmountable challenge. I myself play and review a lot of RPGs and text-heavy games because I'm a book nerd at heart. If you too like these sorts of games and welcome valid criticism of the genre, keep tabs on my Open Critic page.
All right,
Very
I come
lovely
right.
self-plug there.
Yeah, I come right back
first of all.
during the fucking shameless self-promotion right here in the middle of this fucking article.
Yeah. So that whole, I need to read that again. But that whole part of that was basically him saying, "So what gives? Why are people not trusting game critics anymore? We don't. As much as you think that we're different, we're not. Blah blah blah." Here's the thing, right? The problem with finding someone with similar opinions is that ends up creating like an echo chamber in some cases. So you have to be very careful. the one biggest thing here is that valid criticism is the sentence that I want to point out. A lot of video game reviewers do not put valid criticism into their stuff.
they
Again, to go back to the
really-
earlier Plague review,
Yeah.
2 out of the 3 points that we put into
2 out of
there
the 3 points
were
are-
not necessarily valid.
Yeah, they
Because
just
again, the
didn't need to be
offensiveness
there.
and the offensiveness and the what was the other one?
The offensiveness,
Um,
and I think it was like, fuck, I actually now have to check.
Yeah.
It was,
Being offended and
the edgy aesthetics.
aesthetic. Yeah, both the edgy aesthetics and the
and the offensive
offensiveness of
depictions,
it
which
were not valid.
Yeah, they
right?
weren't valid
Because
criticisms.
the aesthetic is the graphics and the stuff to create the world and the lore of the game. That's what that's meant to do, and that brought it across in a very meaningful way that person just happened to miss. The same thing with the offensiveness. That's more of a very, like, biased opinion in some cases, because you can get offended by fucking anything.
Yeah.
People have gotten offended by, I think, like, even chocolate chip cookies and pizza. Like, that is not the people get offended by bagels. Are you kidding me? They're like, I will always bring this story up, but there was a New York bagel place that tried to open up in Montreal. The business failed because the Montreal people didn't like their bagels and got kind of offended that
Bruh.
those bagels existed in there. Like, not offended like that they didn't do it. They just got offended enough to not go there. You know what I mean?
Jesus.
To bring up those 2 points, that's not valid. The only one would be the technical issues, and those would be something worth talking about. Saying, hey, look, this game has a lot of technical issues, buyer beware, is a super valid criticism. But say, hey, this game is offensive to me, is not a valid criticism, right?
And when it
Unless
comes
it says, like, unless you bring it into a more neutral standpoint, saying like, oh, this game has depictions of X, Y, and Z, which might offend some people.
Yeah, that would
Right.
probably be at least like a semi-better way of actually... It still wouldn't exactly be the most valid of criticisms, but it would be better than just stating, I didn't like it, which just ends up
Yes.
becoming more of a subjective thing, and it's just kind of like, okay, dude, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
And when it comes... And I guess
Last
going to the
paragraph.
Elden Ring example of, like, you know, the reviewers complaining that it was too hard and whatnot, like, again, that's not really valid critique, because, again, that is the point of FromSoft games.
Well, and not even that's the point. It's also hard for them in the sense of they don't understand that it's a Souls game.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like, they
And
complain about
difficulty-
it. And yeah.
Yeah, difficulty is different depending on who you ask, because it brings me back to what I was talking about earlier, where there are 3 pillars in terms of gameplay, right? There is mechanical understanding, movement, and speed. All 3 of these are required for games. I've gone into this a number of times. But mechanical understanding, speed, and movement don't just apply to the game itself, they also apply to the person's skill level. So specific games, such as Osu, to use a random example, are very low on mechanical understanding, but high in both movement and speed. Like, speed is probably one of the higher things. And both of those are required in spades when you're doing things like Osu or Guitar Hero. However, for, say, a game like Call of Duty or The Finals or any survival game, those games require a high level of mechanical understanding, where you have to understand the mechanics of the game and how they operate in order to create better stuff. You might not be the best at speed, or you might not even be the best at movement at some times, but it requires both of it. Elden Ring is a perfect example. High level of mechanical understanding, a medium level of movement, and a pretty decent level of speed. But speed is not necessarily required, but it is definitely a high level of mechanical understanding that
Definitely
is
gonna
required
need a
for
lot
it.
of speed from Mesmer, that's all I gotta say.
Absolutely. Anyway.
Mesmer moves at like fucking Mach 12, he's like Sisyphus Prime for some reason. Anyways, this is how to navigate the media landscape. Find someone your tastes align with, or whose criticism you enjoy reading. Find your Roger Ebert.
Roger Ebert.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
1984, I believe.
Don't just look at the... Don't just look at the biggest reviews on the biggest sites because you lack important context about the person behind the webpage. You can expect their review to be balanced and fair, but will also be entirely subjective. Reviews are opinions, after all, so you need to dig a little deeper to understand whether this is a
Nope.
perspective
Hold
that
on.
is...
I stand wildly corrected.
Yeah.
Roger Ebert is a movie reviewer.
Okay. Find a perspective that's similar to yours. If your favorite reviewer writes for an independent zine, go for it. That might be more valuable to you than IGN or the Gamer write-up. Listen, I just have to point out here, okay? I guess while some things about, like, reviews can in fact be subjective, I feel like there should be some actual objective things that should actually be within a review. Like, you know, are there performance problems?
So,
yes or no?
So here's the thing.
Are there, like, you know, certain, like, if there are, like, fundamental problems with the game that are, like, actual genuine problems, not just, like, you know, wah, you know, I can't handle it, then, like, you know, obviously that should be part of a review. But, like, I feel like we're kind of getting, like, this disconnect here of, like, this person seems to be thinking that for some reason, just because, you know, oh, it's just my opinion, therefore, it just comes across as, like, it's just these people's opinion, so why are people, you know, going up against them?
Right.
When you actually begin to realize, like, you know, what the opinion is, then it's just kind of like, dude, you just don't fucking get it, again.
Yeah. So here's the thing with this, right? I'll just read the last paragraph and then I'll get into my point. But no games journalist is out to get you. The vast majority try to be fair in their criticism and unbiased. When it comes to inconsequential arguments like the console performances, nobody's going to give Astrobot a 2 because they love Xbox. Nobody is trying to destroy game developers' lives. We're honest, we're opinionated, we're human, just like you. And look, that's not true. It doesn't feel true. That's the problem, that this article comes across as you being very self-congratulatory.
Yeah, it
now,
kind of seems
that
like
no
one
game
big self-jack-off session.
To say that no games journalist is out to get you, didn't Alyssa Mercante literally say, hey, come out and fight me?
Yeah, Alyssa Mercante literally pulled, like, you know, a card out of, like, the Insecure Man-Child's playbook of, like, please fight me over it.
I will fight you IRL thing. Like,
and again, I have to bring this up. As a wise Florida man once said, and that wise Florida man is Charlie, he quite literally brought this up in a video, but, like, he basically stated, so what if you could beat me in a fight? It doesn't exactly change the actual points at hand.
Also,
like, does it change the fact that, like, your review was stupid? No. Just because you won a fight doesn't fucking mean that doesn't mean that anybody else's critiques are invalid. It just makes you look more insecure.
I'll also say, so Roger Ebert was a very famous film critic. He had a show called Ebert, which was him and one other person, where they would go out and they would review movies, and they're like, oh, how would they do that before the thing of YouTube? They would do it on, like, actual television. Like, they had an actual TV show where they went out, they saw movies that week, and they would review it. And that show went on, was like in the 80s, I believe, 80s, early 90s, and essentially he had very valid critiques of it in terms of the movie, talking about the story, talking about the actors, talking about that, and all of that is very subjective, and absolutely. But he never meant it to be objective, is the thing. Because he was like, oh, this movie, there was very clearly videos and movies that did super well despite the fact that they got a negative Roger Ebert review. However, it's becoming more clear, at least in terms of games journalists, that they do have fair criticisms, but those fair criticisms are few and far between. They do have unbiased and inconsequential arguments, but that's not true as well. Because there are games, there are video, and there are entire sites dedicated to things like the PlayStation or the Xbox. There's, like, DualShockers, which is a PlayStation-centric fucking review site.
Yeah.
There is Xbox-centric or something along those lines. I forget specifically what they're branded with. But, like, there's, like, Xbox-centric ones that I can't think of off the top of my head. But there is bias there. Like,
Yeah.
that's the problem. That's been the problem the entire time, is these game journalists just have biases that they put into their reviews. And Alyssa Mercante is not the only one with this. Because, again, to go back to things like the Sweet Baby Inc. debacle, where Sweet Baby Inc. got defended to the moon and back because of all of the gaming journalists that were out there not reporting how fucking stupid it is. They are deciding to ruin art, and they are threatening and bribing their fucking customers, which is the businesses and the devs, that no one's reporting on it. And the biggest thing to come out that was actually kind of positive in the industry has been deemed as a negative, because Xbox literally just fired all their DEI guys. Like, the entire wing of DEI got completely axed. And everyone's like, oh, this is terrible. It's like, it sucks that people lost their jobs, but that's good. Because I've said it once, and I've said it 1,000 times. If you need a consultant or someone else onto your art to make your art more appealing, you have failed as an artist. Banksy doesn't need that. Fucking most of the people throughout art history do not need that. Like, there was an entire movement of things like Bauhaus and things like the pop culture or the pop art movement or the minimalism movement, where they rejected the norms of the previous generation of art. And this does the same fucking thing. Sorry, I got very passionate right there. But
yeah,
yes,
I can
that's my whole
understand. But yeah, to me, this entire article just comes across as just like, this guy just seems to almost revel in the fact that he just doesn't actually understand, nor does he seem to want to understand the actual problems when it comes to why people are mad at games journalists. Like, it almost seems like this man is, like, you know, almost glad about the fact that there are just some games journalists that hide genuine problems underneath a layer of bullshit points that nobody actually gives a shit about, that ends up ruining the entire review. Like, it just comes across as just like, you don't understand, and you're happy that you don't understand, and you're happy that you just don't want to fucking understand or want to hear anybody out, and you're patting yourself on the back for it, and I just don't understand why. Like,
Again,
this is
it
a
goes
kind of
back
like
to
living in
the
ignorance that I just
Yeah.
find fucking annoying.
Again, like I said before, it's the cave argument. This person is very deep in the cave, to where when anyone gives him any criticism about, like, you're just watching the shadows of what other people want you to believe is the existence of the real world, why don't you come with me and I can actually show you what the real world means? Like, they don't
this
want
guy,
to, because
this
they've
guy
just
would
known
probably
it as
like
the
try
cave the
and bite
entire
at my
time.
fucking throat over it. Like, that's just how this comes across as, and it's just kind of like,
Exactly.
it's just kind of like, it's disappointing. That's the best way I can describe it, is that to me,
Anyway,
this is
I
disappointing.
think that's the end of the article.
Yeah, let's see
and we've
here.
been
Yep,
recording
that's where
for,
it
like,
ends.
nearly
Secretly a
50
survival horror.
minutes.
You know what?
Nice.
You know what? I can understand that
I
with
can
the
agree.
Abyssal Woods.
Anyway, so I think that'll about do it for this episode of I Ranted to a Microphone for the reasons of passion about video games. If you like what it is that I do, want to support me in any way, shape, or form, links down to everything in the description below. I will also link Mr. Sanity over here as well. Do you have anything to say to the people?
I guess just
Excellent.
check out. That's fucking great.
No, continue.
I was about to say, I guess just, you know, check out what I usually do. You know, I kind of do similar things over on my channel, except with, like, I guess a more broader subject than just, like, mainly video games. But I do cover video game related stuff here and there, so if you're interested in just that, then I have that. But if you're interested in a wider array of topics, like recently I just released a video about a content farm shorts creator that's going around and abusing the broken copyright tool on YouTube. You know, if that interests you, go ahead and check me out, I guess.
Fun times. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is GamePanger21, and a peace off.
Alrighty.
Okay,
Anyway.
that is 50 minutes of audio that I now
That's
have to
gonna be
go
a
through.
fun video to edit, huh?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But anyways, now we move on to the gaming portion of this stream here. Let us
So,
let me kill the music real quick here. Let me quickly get
I do want to get going because I am now tired, and I also want to get some lunch.
No, we're
So-
not doing Entropy Zero. Apparently Envy got an update, which is cool.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna go. See you later. I
All right,
need
see ya,
lunch
man.
and nap. So we.
Alrighty. I just realized I did not fucking open Steam, so this is gonna take longer than I thought it was going to take. Fuck. Now, we're not doing No Man's Sky. Especially considering the fact that's only part 1 of the world's update, and it doesn't actually have the world's part of the world's update. It just kind of has, like, the water and whatever else changes and whatnot. I'm waiting for the full world's update, man. I want to see the full world's update when that hits. When that happens, that's when I'm going to be streaming. Excuse me, can you please fucking function? Why aren't you... That's not what I fucking wanted, you dipshit. The ultra kill, there we go. Is it working? It's working, good. Alright, so, Envy got an update. Let's go. So apparently Envy got itself a little bit of an update. New update available for Envy. Let's go. Update. Alright. Latest version, mediums, whatever the fuck. Okay, anyways, update. Let's take a look at what has changed. We got skill test 2? I guess I can check that out another time, but I mainly just kind of want to end this stream off with Envy. There we go. I'll just install this one so I have it ready for next time. Ola's Moving Castle? Eh, fuck it. Why not? V3's showed? Oh my fucking god. What are these fucking levels, man? But anyways, fuck. Custom levels... How long has it been since I last played Envy? Where the fuck is Envy? I'm going to go fucking insane. Where's Envy? Did I pass by it? Am I blind? Am I stupid? Can these spam calls just leave me the fuck alone? There it is. There's Envy. I am just blind. Anyways, let's go. This is taking a scary amount of time to load. Oh shit! Oh. I see. What do we got here? Bestiary, Purgatory. We have fuck and all in terms of Purgatory entries. Cool! I'm glad! Alright, let's go! Ooh. Ow, bitch! Epic. Grass hurts because Envy was made for Genshin Impact and League players. It was also made for Destiny 2 players. God fucking damn it, Cerberus. Why'd you have to get in the way of the saws? How the fuck did I get into the grass, bitch? Fuck off. Damn it, alright, well, no challenge. Alright, no challenge today. No challenge today. Here I thought I could get the challenge, but... oh well. It's going so well. God fucking damn it, Cerberus! There we go, mission accomplished. Oh wait, hang on. Hang on, I know that there's a book up here. I think that this is a little easier to traverse now, which is nice. The gates of heaven were sealed, leaving us weeping, begging for passage, enduring our punishment for thousands of years, all in vain. Devon dwellers we are just a peck of filth, same sinners as the ones in hell. To them we do not deserve to behold the Father's light, or at least what was left of it. All we can do now is just keep praying. Maybe heaven will have mercy for us. Remaining text does not matter. Get fucked! Woo! Ooh. Wait, hang on, did the music also get updated? It sounds a little nicer now. Alright, I can dig it. Shit, okay, fuck, I can't. Oh god! Die. Oh, you motherfucker! Motherfucker. Fucking bitch. Get the fuck out of here. Oh! Jesus. So I'm glad that we still got, like, the floating blood from, like, previous platforms. I think that's funny. Whee! Whee! Oh, okay. I'm liking the new appearance for the Judgment Hall. Oh yeah, this is definitely a much nicer layout. Hi! 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 Got new enemy placements too! Shit! now. Got the nice blunt force. Did you just blow yourself up, you fucking moron? How much more? Get fucked, bitch. Woo! Oh, hi! Oh, hi! We got some new enemies here! Come on, hit me, bitch! Die! Now! Alright, here we go. Oh, shit. Gutter tank jump scare, yeah. Dark Souls 1 Gwendolyn area? I haven't played Dark Souls 1, so I don't get the reference. Holy shit. I'm liking the new textures. I'm just gonna state that right now. I'm loving the new textures. Jesus. What do we got here? At the most desperate moment we saw the light up here. The most pleasant light we ever felt in our lives, coming down from the very heavens. Immediately thought of an angel coming down to grant us long-awaited freedom. As we struggled through the razor-sharp grass, we discovered that it was, in fact, not an angel at all. Tall, covered in white mantle, with bright green eyes. Who is he? How did he come down from the very skies? We tried to ask him, but all he did is lie down on the ground, staring at the endless field surrounding us. I'm loving that we don't throw the book. Ugh. There we go, deal with that first. Alright, onward! Not the best time, but holy shit, that was good! Curse of Metal Pipe, yes, I still have the Metal Pipe sound effect enabled, just because it's funny. Anyways, hang on, I got a ping. Whomst has pinged me. Moving on. Moving on. Jesus Christ. There we go. Also check the fuck. Fine. We'll check the terminal again. What could possibly be on the fucking terminal? There's nothing on here! Purgatory information. I see. Alrighty, there we go. Any second now. There we are. Jesus, alright. Come on, hit me! Die! Alright, no, that's where I literally just came from. Fuck. What about through here? What do we got? Nope, that deals damage. Shit, alright.
Jesus! This way. Alright, no further waves in here. Lock A disengage, let's go. This way. Onward and downward, hi! Fuckers! Hi, bastard! Alright, there we go. That takes care of that. Mama fucker! Bottomless pit? How the fuck did I do that? You bitch! That's right, bitch! Let me in! Dope! Motherfucker, hi. Yeah, that seems normal. Oh shit, right, this way. Fuck. Ugh. I can't tell if that was my system going crazy or if that was part of the music. Alright, that solves that problem. What do we got down here? We are not doing that shit today. Kill them all!
Fuck. Yeah, I can't wait for the other layers of hi. Sky doesn't seem very friendly here. Yeah, no shit. Hang on. I want to actually read some of these. A facility built by the surviving world leaders following the end of the final war, built as a wall around the island as a research facility to study purgatory. Lack of food and resources led the only survivors to kill each other in the dome. Fucking great! I wonder what the dome is. I'm assuming we'll figure that one out with whatever the final level of purgatory, or whatever the final level of Rubicon is. Vast land full of factories and buildings. I mean, I don't think Pride has even been released yet, so we don't know anything about that one entirely truly yet. Vast landscape of empty fields surrounding a grand Gothic city, hosting a massive castle in its center that stretches upwards miles. This terrace is seemingly entirely devoid of intelligent life, populated only by machines incoming from hell. Fun. Hi! My god! Fucking die! Thank you! Alright, here we go. Hard drive scan. Total space available, whatever a petabyte is. Displaying the insides. Folder 1, collection of books in PDF format. Piracy, nothing remarkable. Folder 2, a collection of audio files titled Aleph0, Aleph1, and so on, consisting of harsh noises, edited human voice instrumentation. Folder 3, collection of audio files titled 2, LCM23, LCM235, LCM2357, and so on. Nothing remarkable. Why would anything be remarkable to you, Walking Fortress? Your purpose of shattering the bones and drinking the Your purpose of shattering the bones and drinking the devious viscera is one of the world of indifference, the cycle of hunger, the ethereal war trade. This thing you just murdered, do you know its purpose? My vessel, my armored mantle. A model primarily designed to traverse highly hazardous environments, transporting information on a physical copy through long distances, high agility, and decent survival abilities. Perfect. For parasitic life form to thrive, to bathe in the rays of the glorious sun, following the bloodied sand on the beach of the burned sea, where the horizon screams with desolation, the cold, uncaring metal stretching upwards. Above the ring of man's folly in the waters, and the rain falls down just as usual. The doll you've just fought is long dead, corpse animated by the hell energy. Spreading our filth in the divine sanctuary, like antenna for other atrocities to thrive, to tear apart the seraphic vellum we found ourselves in, to pierce the black sky, standing under the impaling rain and laughing as ink fills your mouth and drowns you in its perfect dark. Fantastic. Hi there, Leo. Hope your walk home was safe. Anyways, time for E-3, I guess. Hi! Hi there, you bitch! the fuck down there. Or get the fuck down from there. There we go, that's English. You motherfucker! Hey, you're not escaping from me, bitch. I fucking hate virtues. That fucking bird that I hate. God damn. What else do we have here? Hi, bitch. Die. I was not actually expecting that to insta-kill him that time. Seriously, who the fuck is this man? Who is this in the coffin? Will we ever find out? Find out next time on Dragon Ball Z! Now fucking die. Kill yourself, now! Yeah, enough fall for that shit again. How are you still alive? How did I manage that? How are you still alive? Wait, what the fuck? I thought I destroyed that. Fucking invincible ass idol. Get the fuck out, bitch. Not quite what I wanted to do, but that works. Anyways, do we actually get an entry on... Oh my god, we actually do get an entry on Unfortunate Development. Hi! Fightin' OS was built as a way of transporting supplies of war, confidential information, and valuable materials. Its high endurance and agility allowed it to traverse great distances of any surface, including the hellish landscapes and steep walls of purgatory. However, the machine presented is only a shell, housing a dangerous parasitic mass inside its body. Living in a symbiosis of blood and power, they act like antennas, transmitting and channeling the energy of hell to the higher, previously unreachable planes of purgatory. Creatures with this kind of life shred the divine fabric and pollute it with their accursed presence, allowing demons to thrive with power in the decreasing angelic influence within these dark, desolate times. That's cool.
Oh, that's when the level title appears. Aye! No. There's more! Motherfucker! Ah, not again! No. Fuck you. Get fucking lost! Mannequins are still here! It's just like the original. Except better. Shit. It's even funnier the second time! That's how they feel with this room. It's even funnier the second time! Oh, what the hell happened to my frames there for a minute? Jesus! Alrighty. Ah, it's a book. What do we got? Fuck. Give it! As stars shine with the divine presence, I am here as an observer. Lately, life has felt like reading a book and looking on a story through the grating of pages and words so far away from me. The love I felt is so distant and blank. As the wind blows and rain falls, no matter how much I am thinking of making this one finishing blow, some part of me is still not drained of life. Some part of me still wants to lie in a bed of flowers and witness the beauty that might be left of this world. You might be familiar with this, but what matter does it hold at this point? There's nothing left for us here. I'll see you in a place where nights shine bright, on a borderline that I do not yet dare to cross, in a place of a source not yet familiar to me, and I doubt it will ever be. Go up the trail and witness the wondrous and depressing nature of the condition we live in. Fuck you. The grand finale, bitch! What? Wait a minute. What was that guy doing?
Wait, what's still left? What's still left? Motherfucker. Hideous mess! Come on, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Oh, yes. Whoa. Alright. Still have yet to figure out the challenge of this level. And that's where it ends. Damn it! E-4 ain't out yet. Fuck! But holy shit, that was good! That was great! Oh, what a great way to end off this stream, man. What the fuck was that? Anyways. Yep, that's gonna be the end of this stream, but hey, that was unbelievably fun. But anyways, thank you guys so much for dropping by. It was genuinely fun to have you guys around. And I guess special thanks to the fantastic guests that we had for at least a good amount of time. And yeah. And yeah, thank you guys so much for dropping by, and I will see you guys whenever I see you. Take care, everybody. Also, something you notice, that How to Exist guy popped in earlier. Oh yeah, I was just ignoring his existence, that way he would fuck off. It seemed to have worked. But yeah, anyways, I'll see you guys, whenever I see ya.